Hello, magical people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Megmoonbeam, and happy Neptune entering Aries. Yay, 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 yay. I am so excited for this day. And if you have been following me already, then you know I have been talking about Neptune going into Aries. So excited that we are almost done the Neptune in Pisces transit. So today I'm filming live on Sunday, April 30th. 2025. Neptune has just entered 0 degrees Aries as of 8 a.m. Eastern this morning. And yes, we are going to have Neptune retrograde back one more time into Pisces in the autumn. We'll talk about that. But from now until October, and then starting fully in 2026, I'll give you guys the exact dates of everything going on. Neptune in Aries. So thank you all so much for joining me. This is a really big deal. One of the outer planets changing signs, which does not happen very often, and something that it's very interesting. 2024, 2025, 2026, we have all the outer planets changing signs, heralding a huge shift for Mother Earth, humanity, consciousness, the whole world. So very, very exciting stuff. So we're going to talk about what Neptune in Aries means for the whole collective and all 12 signs. And before we get into that, just some housekeeping things. First of all, my creative partner, Sunny, and I over at the Scorpio Shop have just released our first annual Cosmic Alignment Astro e-calendar for the natural astrological year of March 20th, 2025 to March 19th, 2026. Thank you so much to everyone that has been supporting us over at the Scorpio Shop and has gotten our first annual Cosmic Alignment Astro calendar. If you'd like to get a copy of this 77-page natural calendar with all my astrological forecasting, main highlights for the whole year ahead, graphic, healing, color art designed by Sunny, all the very important information that you will need, you can go over to thescorpionshop.com. The link is in the description box of this video. And here's a couple examples. We're not showing any examples of my written out pages because that's all writing. It's not AI. Some people have been asking me about that. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm not an AI astrologer. Handwritten by me for the whole year ahead with Sunny's art. Of course, we have calendar for each of the sun sign seasons, pages with all of the main transits, and written out descriptions as well. So you can go check that out over at the Scorpio Shop. And also on the Scorpio Shop, we have astrological crystal prescriptions for your sun, moon, and rising sign based on the astrological transits that you have happening this natural year. So thank you so much that we've been getting really good reviews about this. Really happy that everyone likes our new calendar and our crystal prescriptions. So head on over to thescorpionshop.com. Also, my husband Jens and I are going to be hosting this Soulful Summer Solstice Retreat weekend. What a tongue twister. Soulful Summer Solstice Retreat weekend in the beautiful world-renowned Algonquin Park at the Northern Edge Retreat Center. This is going to be the last weekend of June, from Friday, June 27th to Monday, June 30th, 2025. We're going to have so much fun with like-minded community celebrating the summer solstice, getting grounded, doing some activities outside, moose excursions, hiking, canoeing, campfires, stargazing, yoga, singing, sound healing. We're going to have so much fun. We always have lots of fun at our retreat. So if you'd like to sign up or see full information, head over to my website, megmoonbeam.com, and you can sign up directly through the link at the bottom of that page on my website at the Northern Edge Retreat Center. The link is at the bottom of that page, so you can go check that out. And sorry, guys, long intro. Last little housekeeping thing. I promise I'm going to be hosting this Beginner's Guide to Astrocartography workshop over on the Beyond Mystic Academy, Sunday, April 13th. Link is also in the description below. Astrocartography is the astrology of the world's map based on each of our birth charts. So sorry for the long intro there, you guys. Just lots of magical stuff going on and wanted to share that all with you. Thank you, Laura, for putting the link in for the retreat in the live chat. Thank you so much. And yes, Luke, our soul brother Luke, is going to be there. Hi, Luke. Nice to see you there. So, ha 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 ha. Oh, Karina says, can I send the calendar to be printed or are there copyright issues? Yes. So our calendar is copy written. Oh my God, Mercury retrograde. It is copywritten. So Karina, you are welcome to print it yourself, but we just ask that you respect our time that we've put into it and not print off extra copies for others. So if people want to get their own copies, it's very inexpensive. It's $28 USD, 88 cents. They can go to thescorplingshop.com, get their own copy, but you can print it off for yourself, but not just for others. So thank you for the very mindful question, Karina. And speaking of mindfulness, Neptune, which is what we're going to be talking today, has a lot to do with compassion, mindfulness, the spiritual perspective. So first of all, before we get into, I'm going to talk about what Neptune and Aries means first for the whole collective. Then we're going to get into each of the 12 signs. Okay. We're going to be going through Neptune in a new house, a new area of life based on your rising sign from now until 2039, from 2025 to 2039. Guys, sorry, I'm not the best at math. I literally have to get my calculator out right now to see, okay, how many years is 2039 to 2025? So that's 14 years. This is a very big deal. Neptune is, the second most outer planet that we've discovered in our solar system. Very slow moving. Thank you, Linda. We got our Gemini sister in the chat. 14 years. Yeah. So we've got one of the outer planets, which they tend to have an influence, a big influence over a slow moving amount of time. That's going to be one of the things that I share with you guys. So you may not feel Neptune's influence right away. And actually, before I went live, oh yeah, Linda has a financial degree. Thank you so much for your mathematical skills. Oh my God. And wait a second, Laura, it's your birthday? Laura, happy birthday. Oh my God, happy eclipse birthday. Going to be an absolutely magical year for you ahead. Sorry, what was I about to say there? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, one of the things that I was really feeling strongly intuitively before coming on live with you guys today is that, first of all, okay, before we even get into Neptune and Aries for the collective and all the 12 signs, let's just recognize that we are coming out of Neptune in Pisces. But yes, Neptune will retrograde one last time from October 22nd, 2025 until the beginning of 2026, back in Pisces one last time. Okay, but for most of this year ahead, we do have Neptune in Aries. Okay. It's important for us to acknowledge where we are coming from with Neptune in Pisces since 2013. Okay, so if you have listened to me already here on my channel or on Beyond Mystic, you've probably heard me say multiple times, Neptune is the ruler of the sign of Pisces. Neptune has been the strongest influence outer planet in his home sign of Pisces. Okay, so we have been feeling this Piscean influence, this Neptunian influence, which, by the way, Pisces and Neptune rule the same things. Okay, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. We've been feeling this influence so strong since 2013. And yes, the positive of it is mass spiritual awakening of humanity. Neptune and Pisces rules spirituality, right? So many of us, including myself, had a major spiritual awakening during this Neptune in Pisces transit. Let me know if you experienced that. I know many people had it in 2012. That's when I had like my starseed awakening. I was always into the paranormal and the spiritual side of life before that. But for me personally, it wasn't until 2012 when I woke up and I read the book, The Pleiadian Agenda, and that totally activated me. And I went into the path of, star seeds and consciousness and all that. But I'm sure many of you guys, and let me know in the chat, have probably had that full-blown spiritual awakening, 2012, 2013, moving forward since Neptune went into Pisces. Paulina says, yes, it hit me 2012 as well. Chrissy, 2020 woke me up. Yeah, 2020 has been during this Neptune in Pisces transit for sure. So that's been the really beautiful part of it, is we are waking up to our mind, body, spirit connection. Pisces rules raising of consciousness, compassion. It also shows, we're entering a higher timeline. We're entering the age of Aquarius. It's also heralding that. But Pisces also rules that everything, actually, which is not of this world. Okay. Pisces is the other realms, the spiritual realm. Yet we are here in Mother Earth, embodied in a physical body. So Pisces and Neptune can actually be one of the most challenging signs and challenging planets, because it is that which is not of this world. So there's been major challenge during this Neptune and Pisces transit from 2013 to 2025 of ungroundedness, illusions, deception, mind control, brainwashing. Look at what we've been going through. Our whole lives, there's been brainwashing, but in particular from 2020, since 2020. Okay, it's been like the height of brainwashing and propaganda. And Pisces and Neptune also rule confusion and things being really trippy. And okay, what's the actual truth? What's real? What's not real? I don't know. I'm just going to go tap out and drink and do drugs. Fuck this. I don't care. Pisces is also tapping out, not honoring the body in its shadow side. So why I am so excited, even though I'm so grateful for Neptune and Pisces, I'm so grateful for my spiritual awakening, my starseed awakening. I'm so grateful for many more people waking up as well. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. I am also so grateful that we are now in Neptune in Aries. Okay. Things are going to start to feel more grounded. I keep hearing Spirit use the word more embodied. Okay. Has anybody else been noticing that we've been very in the mind, the mind's eye, ideas, the screens? Pisces rules the screens, social media, the computer, the television, anything that has a screen. Unless you happen to be an Aries out there, you happen to have a lot of Aries in your chart, right? We haven't been very grounded. We have not been very grounded. We've been very ungrounded. We've been very disembodied. Has anybody else noticed that? Sarah, hi Sarah, says, being a Pisces, I'm happy we are getting out of the Neptune and Pisces and entering Aries. I'm tired of running in circles. Yeah, the Pisces, Sarah, like yourself. Oh my God, Pisces, you're going to get a breath of fresh air. You're going to get a clean slate. All of us are going to feel a breath of fresh air. And again, it might not be right away, okay? Because this is for the whole next 14 years. And also what I'm feeling is I feel like we're going to be in a little bit of a Neptune and Pisces hangover. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. And let me just double check here, because I'm having a brain fart. When is the exact day Neptune fully goes into Aries? January 26th, 2026. So actually, let me write that down, because I keep forgetting that for some. Oh yeah, I already wrote that down. So Neptune enters Aries today, March 30th. It happened at 8 a.m. Eastern. We will have Neptune in Aries until October 22nd, 2025. Then Neptune will be in Pisces for the very last time in our lives, unless we have like crazy lifespan extension, because Neptune has a zodiac revolution of like 175 years, if I'm remembering that correctly. So, we all have a unique relationship, side note, to Neptune and Pluto, the outermost planets that move so slow, right? So from October 22nd to January 26, 2026, Neptune and Pisces for the very last time. Then, hallelujah, January 26, 2026, Neptune fully in Aries until 2039. So even though, and this is a picture of Neptune, by the way, if some of you guys don't happen to know, this is what Neptune looks like. Okay. So yes, Neptune is entering Aries, and we are experiencing Neptune in Aries from now until October 22nd. But I'm also feeling guided to say from Spirit, we are going to be in a Neptune and Pisces hangover for all of 2025 and all of 2026. Okay. Many of you guys have heard the term of burnout. That's become a very common term if you've been paying attention. Burnout. Oh, I'm taking time off work for 3 months. I've got a burnout. The amount of fucking people that I've heard just in my personal life and also through clients who've been having burnouts. What other time in history have you ever heard the term of a burnout? Okay, this has been because of Neptune in his home sign of Pisces, high sensitivity. It's tiring, it's sensitive. It's been the strongest outer planet in its home sign. So I think this year, next year, yes, Neptune in Aries is starting. Yes, we can feel more energized. We can feel more embodied. We can feel more grounded. We're going to get more clarity, but we're also going to be dealing with the burnout, the hangover of Neptune being in Pisces since 2013. Paulina says, I had a burnout in 2013, was not a joke though. Yeah, and I don't mean to, I like to just be silly, so don't take it personally, anybody. But yeah, I know burnout is a real thing, right? But isn't it interesting that so many people have been having that at the same time? I think that that's had to do with Neptune and Pisces, right? So, and there's this whole theme too, and I write about this in Sunny and I's Cosmic Alignment Natural Calendar. Link is in the description below. This whole astrological year ahead is one of endings and new beginnings happening at the same time, right? So very, very interesting transit that we have ahead. So Neptune in Aries, this is our first time having Neptune in Aries, first time in 147 years. The last time we had Neptune in Aries was 1861 to 1875. And I think I might have to do a part 2 video of Neptune and Aries just on, I could do hours and hours of just the history and historical concepts and happenings of Neptune and Aries. I think I'll have to do a part 2 because I do want to talk about the collective in general in this video, plus the 12 signs. Okay, so that'll be a part 2, all right? So we've talked about Neptune and Pisces. We've just come out of that. Neptune and Aries is going to help us ground out of the Neptune and Pisces transit. So we are going to see new beginnings. Aries rules new beginnings and quickness, fast-paced events and happenings in the Neptune-ruled areas of life. And you guys know I like to make the astrology very interactive. So if any of my astrology brothers or sisters out there would like to put in the live chat, what are some things that Neptune rules in life? If anybody feels like sharing, put in the live chat, what does Neptune rule in life? What areas of life with Neptune and Aries are we going to be going through new beginnings, totally fresh new starts, activation, a breath of fresh air, and also things moving fast into the future. Remember, Aries is the first sign in astrology. It is about fresh starts, fast pace. Did you be in spirituality? Definitely. Yeah. New beginnings in spirituality, what we consider to be spirituality. I'm also hearing Spirit say spiritual science. Linda, war and speed. Aries rules war and speed. Yeah. Namaste Studio, intuition, spirituality, mysticism. Yeah, so anything having to do with spirituality, going through a new beginning, that whole field. Ooh. Oh my God, don't know if you can hear this. There is thunder happening outside as we're talking about the new beginnings in spirituality. Neptune in Aries. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. Yes, Neptune is the healing arts, new beginnings in the healing arts, healing institutions. Neptune rules hospitals, rehabs, any kind of healing institutions, for sure. MJ, illusions, water, dreams, the occult. Yes, very good. Sherry, Neptune is dreams and fantasies, right? Yes, it is. Earth tones, spirituality, healing physical being, new findings in brain and mind health. Definitely, you guys got it. For sure. So, everything in life is ruled by a planet and a sign, but some of the main things ruled by Neptune, like you guys have been saying, is spirituality, the healing arts, all forms of creativity, music, art, film, photography, dance, all forms of creativity. We're going to see new beginnings, a new renaissance in music, musical genres, filmmaking, film genres, types of photography, videography, art. This is going to be highly, highly creative. Very, very cool. Yeah, Elizabeth says creativity, mystical realms. Neptune, as I said, healing institutions. Neptune is also compassion and selfless acts of service. So new beginnings and fresh new energy towards charity, ways of being of service, volunteering, which I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I don't trust a lot of charities. And that makes me very sad to say, because I want to be able to donate to a charity that I really believe in. But with Neptune and Pisces, I've been very weary of that. And I've been waiting until this Neptune and Aries transit of where we have more clarity overall of, okay, this is actually a charity or an institution trying to help people that I can actually donate to or maybe associate myself to. So we've been going through, the illusions of charities. Unfortunately, a lot of them are bullshit. And a lot of them are actually, funneling streams for criminality and some really messed up things. Yeah, DigiBean says charities were infiltrated long ago. And I know there are charities out there, of course, that are doing a good job. And I don't mean to bash those, but just saying it's like every very famous person and politician has their own charity and foundation, and there's very sketchy people owning a lot of these really big ones. So that's going to be changing with Neptune in Aries. We're going to have a fresh start with those areas of life. Tracy, I agree, Meg. Why I never donated much. For sure. Let's see. What else does Neptune rule? Neptune also rules, Neptune rules really beautiful, blissful, enlightened areas like spirituality, like creativity, like giving, like volunteerism and charity. But Neptune also rules some hard stuff like addictions and karmic issues. Okay. So we're definitely going to be seeing some beautiful new healing modalities come, and it's going to be fast. I want to highlight for this to you guys. I know I may keep repeating myself here. Okay, but it's going to be very fast, positive changes where there's going to be, and this has been one of my very big predictions for 2025, is huge, once in a generation healing advancements in the medical, for physical and mental health fields. So addiction healing methods coming forward fast and then become the big trend and everyone's doing it. Very big development in the healing arts, the medical field, right? So this is very, very exciting stuff. Also, not only is it a new beginning and quickness in the Neptune ruled areas of life, but also a Neptune influence over the Aries ruled areas of life, right? So we get both are affected. Now, let me know in the live chat, my astrology family out there, what are areas of life ruled by Aries? What does the first sign of the zodiac, Aries, rule in life? Let me know in the live chat while I take a sip of my sparkling water. Chrissy, our Aries astrology sister, action. Yes, thank God. Action and energy. So, wherever we have Neptune as well, it's also where we're receiving spiritual help and assistance, right? So there's spiritual help, miracles coming through for our action and our energy levels. Wow, we got a lot of answers for Pisces. Paulina says leadership. Totally. Leadership, war, beginning project. Yep. Sherry, Aries rules the head. I am self, ego. Yeah, you guys are right. Self, leadership, structures, foundation. MJ, warrior. Totally. Now, the first thing about Aries we have to start with more than anything else. Oh, I love what you're saying, Elizabeth. The I am presence. Yeah, that's beautiful. The first thing we need to understand about Aries is it is first and foremost self, me, I am, identity. Okay. Aries, the first sign in the zodiac, is about self and our identity, being a newborn baby, where yes, we have our ancestral karma. Yes, we have our soul self. Okay. But we are not influenced by others. We are self. And if you know anybody who's an Aries, okay, I love Aries because I always say about Aries, you know exactly what you're going to get with an Aries. They tell you what they like. They tell you what they don't like. They tend to have very good boundaries, and they tend to, and yes, there's shadow aspects to Aries, okay, but they honor themselves. They honor themselves. So part of this Neptune in Aries transit, how we can be in alignment with it on a spiritual level. Yeah, Tracy says, we are direct. Exactly. I love that you guys are so direct. Part of the way that we can heal the world and be a light worker and a starseed at this time with Neptune and Aries, and this goes for with any astrology, but particularly with Neptune and Aries, it starts with self. You cannot help others unless you have first helped yourself, right? What works for you and what doesn't work for you. And it's very important for you to be honoring that during this time. We will be very spiritually shown right away if you do things that are not in alignment with yourself. There will be like karma right away if you do things that you know are not in alignment with yourself because you're trying to people please, because you're trying to do whatever, right? So honoring self is not selfish. That's why Aries have so much energy. They're able to get so much freaking shit done and run around all over the place because they're not thinking about, oh, I got to do that for that person. Oh, I wonder how that person's doing. Oh, I'm thinking about that person. They're direct, they're in the present moment, and they're operating based on self. And if there is something very important that needs to come up with another person, then yes, they will deal with that. Yes, instant karma. But it is about honoring your energy, yourself, your needs first, right? So that is very important during this transit. Neptune is also dissolving. Neptune is no boundaries and things dissolving. And Aries is our identity and self. And this is going to be a very heightened theme with not just Neptune and Aries, but actually the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that we're going to be having in 2025, 2026. It will be exact February 20th, 2026. Dissolving of our identity, what we have identified with. And I'm not talking about the genders. I'm not talking about the woke stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how we're leaving this age of Pisces. We're entering an age of Aquarius, of a beautiful higher timeline, a golden age, the start of a golden age for humanity, where I've been getting this message so strong lately, intuitively. It's like a lot of our dreams and our long-term goals that we had in this age of Pisces, they will not be relevant in the age of Aquarius. And therefore, yeah, Digibene, it's dissolving attachments. It's dissolving Neptune of the identity, Aries, that we thought we were. Right? So there will be dissolving of how we thought we were going to be seen, what we thought our identity was going to be, which is actually, it can be challenging. That can definitely be challenging. right? If we have very big dreams about something and we have this expectation about how things are going to go. But it's actually really beautiful and spiritual because it teaches us oneness, that we are one with everything. And all these roles and all these identities are just character experiences that we're having in the present moment. Does that make sense how I just said that? I hope I did. I hope that does make sense. So dissolving of who we were during the age of Pisces and a spiritual renewal of our identity moving forward into the age of Aquarius. Aries rules men and divine masculine energy. So there will be a beautiful Neptunian influence that we will see over the next 14 years of men stepping into their spirituality, which many men already have, right? But women rule divine feminine. Spirituality and intuition is a feminine aspect. So it's a lot easier for women to step into that first, more effortlessly than men, right? Not saying that men aren't spiritual, but just saying men is Mars and Aries in astrology, right? So now with Neptune and Aries, you guys are going to notice a lot of more men, divine masculines, waking up to their mind, body, spirit connection, getting even more into spirituality, right? And in the collective, Aries also rules politicians, business people, prominent men, powerful men, leaders and politicians and men in positions of power becoming more Neptunian, compassionate, spiritual in nature, forgiving, right? Which is really, really beautiful. We're going to start having leaders and politicians, whether they're women or men, Aries is leaders, whether they're women or men, that are coming from a place of spiritual ideals and compassion. So that's going to be really, really beautiful for us to start seeing compassionate spiritual leaders. Also, Aries rules building and architecture of new sacred sites and types of temples, Neptune. So there's going to be a renaissance of not just the artistic field, artistic genres, but also a renaissance of Aries is building and architecture and also athletics, physical ways of movement and sports. So that's going to be very exciting to see. And so cool that during the beginning, and let me see if I can bring this clip up. 1 second. So cool that at the start of this Neptune and Aries transit, just like a week before Neptune ingressed into Aries today. Oh, that's so cute. Carol, you say mermaids for president. Yeah, how cool would it be to have some mermaids for president? That would be really cool. How cool is it that just a week before Neptune ingressed into Aries, these SAR scans proved, the truth about what the heck has been going on under the Giza Plateau, pyramids, and this spiritual science, right? And that likely it's looking like the pyramid plateau was a power plant, right? There's one video in particular I'm trying to find here. What the heck is that? Okay, is this AI or is this real? Okay, I don't know if that's real or not. We're going to move on. We need to be discerning. But let's listen to this little clip. I'm going to put this at a fast speed of Joe Rogan. Let me put it on a faster playback speed. This is just going to be a few minutes long, talking about Joe Rogan with a guest, talking about these pyramids and what was just discovered. And actually, let me do this like that. Okay, here we go.
Dude, this new pyramid shit that's just come out?
Oh, this is insane. Yeah, I was going to send this to you as well, Jimmy. I'll send you one of the most comprehensive breakdowns of it on X because it's quite stunning. So apparently, through the use of LiDAR, they have discovered that there are enormous structures underneath the Great Pyramid that go kilometers deep into the earth with coils. So enormous pillars, and then these coils. They don't understand what it is because they're just looking at LiDAR images. But whatever this is a uniform structure. There's several pillars, and all of this is like very, very, very weird.
Yeah, 600 meters descending down those cylinders, and then there's more stuff below it, and then there's additional structures inside of it. Yeah, that was crazy.
It's really crazy. There's a guy, Jay Anderson, and he did a breakdown of it. Maybe this would be good. We could play this. It makes a little more sense when someone's explaining it to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, we need somebody that's an expert here, not me and you.
Zawi Hawass, by the way, has said it's nonsense. So I don't know.
Already?
Yes. According to Graham Hancock. This is the wonderful thing about having Graham
I texted
Hancock.
Graham yesterday. I was like, yeah, what's going on with this?
Yeah. So click on that and go full screen, please.
How significant of a discovery this is.
Dun, dun, dun. I love the music. And geometry, so you know it's real.
You gotta appreciate the dramatic intro.
Project Unity.
What has just been announced in relation to the pyramids at the Giza Plateau and the plateau itself is so incredible, so awe-inspiring and narrative shattering that I have been sitting here for the last hour trying to wrap my head around the implications of what we were just told. So this is pretty much breaking news because the new findings were announced on the 16th of March at a press conference held by the team who was studying the Great Pyramid of Giza with a non-invasive technology that was first developed by Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malanga called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography.
Fuck, that's
This
enough.
was used to explore the internal
Chiropractor
structure
talk.
of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and this method leverages the analysis of micro movements typically generated by background seismic activity to achieve a high-resolution, full 3D tomographic imagery of the pyramid's interior and subsurface components. The recent findings from deploying this technology are nothing short of mind-blowing, because what's been discovered is that there are huge structures coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock,
Unbelievable.
over 600 meters deep, which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of the ground. 2 kilometers, massive internal structures.
2
connected to the base
kilometers
of
below
pyramid,
the ground.
extending deep down. This is what we know so far.
What does your friend think about it?
Which friend?
The one that said it's bullshit.
Oh, that's not my friend. That's Zawi Hawass.
Okay.
Zawi Hawass is the head of antiquities in Egypt. He's like,
So sorry, guys. Anyways, I thought that would be more of a clip of them actually showing the pyramids. But anyways, it was more of just Joe Rogan talking with that guest. But you guys get the picture. We could see some of the visuals that were going on there. Yeah, we are going to have new types of sacred sites and temples being built, and also the revealing of the secrets. You know, Neptune along with Pluto is secrets of the old ancient sacred sites that we have and what's really been going on with those. And it's really interesting, you guys, because I've been to Egypt once so far in this lifetime. I went to Egypt in 2016 on a beautiful spiritual pilgrimage with Patricia Corey, amazing channeler and author. Shout out to Patricia. And that's actually where I met my husband Jens on that trip to Egypt. And we had special access to go inside the Great Pyramid. And I remember when we went, I was actually really nervous to go inside the Great Pyramid because I'm very sensitive to energies. And before I stopped being vegan, that's a whole other story. I don't mean to bash vegans, but for me and my body, when I was vegan for 10 years, I was very, very ungrounded. Before I stopped being vegan, I was still vegan in 2016. I would get so ungrounded doing spiritual things where I would literally be outside of myself, looking down on myself. So when I went to the pyramids, yeah, love Patricia Corey. I was nervous. I was like, am I going to die and like go to the other side? Am I going to get like totally out of my body? Like, what's going to happen? And actually, the complete opposite. When we went inside the Great Pyramid, I felt more grounded than I've ever felt in my entire life, while still at the same time being able to have a spiritual experience. My intuition was open, but I was like so grounded and so in my body. And now that this truth around the pyramids has come out, right, where we can see those scans of how deep the architecture actually goes, makes total sense why I felt so grounded, because it goes so deep, 2 kilometers under the ground, allegedly, the architecture of the pyramids. So I do believe this SAR scanning that just came out, because it makes sense with my experience of when I visited the pyramids, of just feeling totally grounded. I felt totally rooted. I felt totally connected to the earth. Aries Wakikila, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. You said, I had the same feeling in many ancient Peruvian pyramids. So cool. Nice. So yeah, Aries is building and architecture. So going to be some magical developments in that area of life. Aries also rules many other things, but I want to make this video kind of my main predictions around Neptune in Aries, and I also want to get into some of the 12 signs. I'm definitely going to have to do a part 2 as well. So I'm going to retitle this video Neptune and Aries Part 1. In the coming weeks, I'll do a Neptune and Aries Part 2, where I share some more of my collective predictions, as well as the history of what happened in the past when we've had Neptune in Aries. So before we get into the predictions for each of the 12 signs, we'll just take a little look at the chart for today. So today, March 30th, 2025, we've got the Sun, 10 degrees of Aries, and Neptune ingressed into 0 degrees of Aries. And this is actually, when a planetary transit starts, we can pull something up called an ingress chart. So actually, when we bring up the chart, thank you so much, MJ, for the super chat. Mwah, love you so much. We can actually bring up the chart for when a transit begins, exactly an ingress chart, to see how the whole transit of Neptune and Aries from 2025 to 2039 is going to be. And what I find so interesting about this ingress chart is that, we've still got that North Node conjunct, right? Neptune within 3 degrees, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. There's a huge conjunction of planets here from Neptune 0 degrees to Saturn 24 degrees of Pisces. So we've still got, even though Neptune is in Aries, that Neptune North Node conjunction, which is all about, with that North Node in Pisces, the sign, Neptune is the dispositor of Neptune and Pisces, spirituality, spiritual practices, sacred sites, sacred places. I think something very in alignment during this Neptune and Aries transit is for us to be visiting the sacred sites, activating the sacred sites, creating new sacred sites, discovery, information revealed about the sacred sites, the architecture, and the meaning of them. And such a powerful time for us to be doing spiritual development, right? Neptune in particular is meditation, and to have practices where we are alone. It's interesting because we do have Pluto in Aquarius, which is about the community and doing things in community. But Neptune, with this ingress chart, conjunct the North Node, and a stellium of planets in Pisces conjunct the North Node. It's also about remembering to spend time alone, right? Do healing work on your own, have personal spiritual practices as well, is very, very important. So it's a very magical ingress chart, very auspicious ingress chart, as also it is just the day after a new moon solar eclipse in Aries. There's a stellium of planets in Pisces conjunct the North Node. I mean, can it get more magical than this? This is going to be very special transit that I'm hearing Spirit say is going to help heal the world. So very, very cool. Now we're going to get into my predictions for each of the 12 signs, sun, moon, and risings for this Neptune in Aries transits. As we go through each of the 12 signs, I invite you to most importantly listen to your rising sign first and foremost, because based off of your rising sign, that is where you're actually going to be having Neptune in Aries transiting over your chart. And I do the whole sign house system for when I do the astrological predictions in general for the 12 signs. Check in your own personal birth chart. I recommend Placidus house system to see exactly when Neptune is entering the houses and leaving the houses. But it is also accurate for us in general for each of the 12 signs to look at the whole sign house system. So listen to your rising sign first and foremost, then your sun sign. Then you can also listen to your moon sign for more personal psychological interpretations. And actually, before we get into each of the 12 signs, just want to ask everyone in the live chat, how are you feeling so far about this Neptune in Aries transit, about anything that I've shared so far in this video? Let me know. I love to make this interactive hear how you guys are feeling, also hear your own intuitive interpretations and feelings as well. Debster says, feels great. Yes, it does feel great. I'm so excited about it. Linda, how close are you to me? Because I'm having thunder where I am too. Maybe send me a private message because I don't want to give away my exact location, but we're having thunder at the same time. So maybe we're not that far away. Tracy says, looking for more clarity. Definitely, we're going to be having more clarity. Yeah, many of us are feeling really good about it. Yeah, MJ, I'm absolutely stoked for this transit. Me too. Okay, you're in Augusta. That's kind of far from where I am at the moment, but interesting that we're both having thunder at the same time. I'm going to take that as a positive, lucky sign. Okay, so let's go into our 12 signs for Neptune in Pisces. Sorry, Neptune in Aries. What am I talking about? Oh my God, guys, please forgive me because I am filming this during a Mercury retrograde and a Venus retrograde, and I am a Taurus rising, and Venus is my chart ruler. I won't go too on about myself, but I've been feeling this retrograde so strong, and I'm so sorry if I'm like messing up my words. I'm trying my best over here. Okay? It's also an eclipse, so day after an eclipse. Okay, so spray a little bit of my spray. Yeah, the thunder is getting loud. Can you guys hear that? I really hope the power doesn't go out because, okay, technical gods, please be with us right now. Okay, Aries, Aries, Aries. What have we got going on for the Aries? Well, Aries, this is Neptune ingressed into your sign for the next 14 years. And during the beginning portion of this transit, it is Neptune conjunct your ascendant, how you are seen, your physical body, how you show up to the world, the foundational starting point of the astrological chart. Aries, you are going to be the most affected by this transit for the next 14 years. And if you are one of the cardinal signs, you will also be the most affected by this transit as well. So Aries, you're having transit Neptune in your first house for the next 14 years. This is a time of very fast, remember, Aries is fast, spiritual and creative development. Okay, your spiritual gifts, psychic abilities are coming online even more. Life can feel very magical. You can be feeling a little bit like a Pisces at times, which is very beautiful and magical. We love our Pisces, but can also be challenging because they can have issues of being ungrounded, right? So it's interesting because even though Neptune in Aries is bringing more of a groundedness and a sense of clarity to the collective, for you, Aries, it's transit Neptune in your first house, which can actually at times be making you feel quite Piscean. So a good astrological remedy is to keep being your Aries self, okay, to move, to be active, to do exercise, to remain discerning, as you guys usually naturally do anyways. You can be going through Aries, a time of a major dissolving of your identity and your life. There can be a major theme this next 14 years of things dissolving away, major karmic endings. The first house also represents how we look to others. Neptune is dreaminess. It can also be sexiness. It's very, very beautiful. People with major Neptune influence look it's a magical beauty, right? So you can look very dreamy and even more beautiful to others, and people can be like magnetically attracted to you, Aries. You can be noticing all of a sudden, whoa, people are like way more attracted to me than usual. What the hell's going on? It's transit Neptune in your first house. This can also be a time of your dreams. Neptune rules dreams coming true, coming to fruition. important for you to be mindful at this time of lies, illusions, as well as substance abuse and loss of boundaries. I'm not too worried about the Aries because you guys tend to be really good with boundaries. You rule boundaries. Okay, but just being mindful of those things can be some of the challenging side of Neptune, and also being mindful of addictions. Neptune, along with Pluto, can rule addiction. So Aries can be more prone to being addicted to things at this time, okay, during this transit. So mindfulness around that, but highly spiritual, highly creative, highly magical, and life-changing, having Neptune in your first house. You know, as I said closer to the beginning of this video, Neptune is the second most slowest moving heavenly body. It takes around 175 years to go through all the signs, to do its zodiac revolution. So most people won't experience Neptune in the first house. This is very special and auspicious. So enjoy, Aries. This is going to be very fun for you guys. Okay, Taurus, rising, sun, and moons. Shout out to my fellow Tauruses. Okay, when I saw this earlier and I was preparing for the charts, because I am a Taurus rising, I was like, oh my God, seriously? We're going to be having transit Neptune in our 12th house. The 12th house, of course, is the house of Pisces and the house of Neptunes. And us Tauruses, we've been going through these eclipses in Aries the past couple of years in our 12th house. So we've already been under this Piscean theme, us Tauruses, of major karmic endings and loss and dissolving and feeling a little bit ungrounded and alone time. I was freaking in Belgium. I have intercepted houses in my personal chart. So I have all of Aries and most of Taurus in my 12th house. So I got all the recent Aries eclipses and almost all of the Taurus eclipses in my 12th house. I was like isolated in Belgium for 2 years. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But Taurus is, even though this is going to be very Piscean for us for the next 14 years, there's beautiful gifts that can come with this. And I want us to focus on the positive side of this. Okay, we've already just survived the Aries eclipses in our 12th house. So we're already aware of the karmic issues. Unless you are completely out to lunch, unless you have completely not been paying attention, Taurus, you are aware of what needs to be worked with at this time. You are aware of what's been going on. Okay, so this is a very powerful time of any kind of spiritual development work or practices. Positive time to spend time alone. Doesn't have to be all the time, but having a practice of alone time. Okay, 12th house is alone time. Doing things by yourself is very positive for your own development. Highly creative time. Highly creative time for Taurus, Neptune in the 12th house. Again, dissolving of deep karmic issues and healing breakthroughs. We are going to be having very vivid dreams, and active, Aries rules active dream time. And let me be clear about what I just said there. Tauruses, we've been going through these Aries eclipses in our 12th house. Okay, eclipses are very intense, shocking, sudden, world-shattering, life-shattering. Can you guys hear the thunder? Okay, don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's very loud thunder over where I am right now. The eclipses in our 12th house the past few years, it's been intense. It's been uncomfortable. Transit Neptune in our 12th house for the next 14 years, it's going to be more slow moving. It's not going to be as intense and unstable. Okay. Aries says, ride the lightning. Yeah, we're going to. Oh, we've got Luke. Hey, Luke, nice to see you. I heard the thunder. Yes. So I hope this makes sense how I'm saying this, Taurus. It's been like the Aries eclipses in our 12th house. It's been very uncomfortable. At least it's been very uncomfortable for me. I don't know about you guys. Whereas for the next 14 years with Neptune, ruler of the 12th house there, it's going to be more slow moving, deep soul level transformations. Hope that makes sense. We're going to be having very active dream time. Pay attention to your dreams. high sensitivity, okay, which we can handle. We're Tauruses, so we're an earth sign. We can handle that. We're not like, a water sign, unless you're like a Scorpio Taurus rising like me. That's another story. But you're going to be feeling more Piscean. Our psychic abilities are going to be becoming even more stronger. Also, Tauruses, this may sound weird for me to say, but it is a positive transit from now until 2039 for you to be spending time in healing institutions, okay? For you to be spending time in healing places, for you to maybe go to a healing center. And a lot more of these new things are going to be coming out. We're going to have huge healing medical advancements coming up starting this year. That's been one of my very big predictions. Rehabs, if you need to. That may sound weird for me to say, but Neptune in the 12th house, one of the challenges of that is Tauruses are going to be more prone to substance abuse, to addictions, to a loss of boundaries. So if there's anything really intense that comes up through that, it's actually a good time for you to be going to healing institutions, for you to be doing spiritual retreats, for you to be doing healing activities. Very, very powerful. Or you may notice that you're spending more time over the next 14 years in hospitals, in rehabs. There could be people around you going through those kind of issues as well. You yourself, Taurus, might enter the healing arts. Neptune in the 12th house. Remember, we've got that transit Pluto conjunct our midheaven, the top of our chart. So Pluto is like cleaning shit out. Pluto is like cleaning out the toxicity of our lives. Okay, so if there's any big issues that we've got going on the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual level, likely many of us will need to do some major healing work around some of those things that are coming up. Yeah, Linda says spiritual retreat in Ontario in June. Yeah, I'll just bring this up again. Jens and I are going to be hosting our Soulful Summer Solstice Retreat weekend in Algonquin Park. You can go check that out at megmoonbeam.com. If you're a Taurus Sun, Moon, or Rising and you've never been on a spiritual retreat, that is such a healing thing to do. That's something that I'm very lucky. I started going on spiritual retreats from an early age. That's been very supportive for me personally on my spiritual journey. So something very good for Tauruses at this time. Also, Tauruses, I probably sound like such an intense Scorpio right now. The 12th house is hidden enemies. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, Neptune rules the 12th house. So we need to be mindful of hidden enemies. 7th house is open enemies. And I always use this silly example. Okay, what is an open enemy versus a hidden enemy? An open enemy is when you know there's someone that they don't got your back. Okay, but for whatever reason, you have that person in your life. You're maybe trying to give them a chance. Okay, I had a situation one time where it was very obvious that I had a friend who was interested in a partner of mine, but I just kept brushing it off. And then it just got to the point where I was like, okay, this is an open enemy. I need to get rid of this shit right now. Okay, that's an open enemy. A hidden enemy, you don't see it. So this is challenging. Hidden enemies, you don't see it. So be very mindful, Tauruses, who you have around, because one of the challenges of this transit is there's more of a propensity for you could let someone into your life that actually they don't have your back, and it's actually very challenging to see that. So be very mindful who you have around, why, and what people's real intentions are. Okay. But overall, Tauruses, and I'm honest, there's really big positives to this, Neptune in the 12th house, but there's also some really big challenges to this. It's a time of major soul development and growth where I highly advise Tauruses. And some of you guys might not like me to say this because Taurus, we like to eat our food. We like to chill out. We like to just chill the fuck out. Okay. But Taurus, it's a very good time to maybe be seeing a therapist on a regular basis, to maybe be talking to a shaman or an astrologer or a spiritual advisor on a regular basis to keep you in check, because there's very deep soul healing and things coming up for you at this time. And some of it will be challenging for you to see clearly, because Neptune is, the challenge of not seeing things totally clearly. So love you guys. Have fun. Neptune in the 12th house, but amazing for creativity, amazing for spiritual growth. Very cool. Okay, Geminis, what have we got going on? We've got transit Neptune in your 11th house. Okay, very, very interesting for the next 14 years. This is a time where you are going to be attracting Neptunian friends and like-minded community. So Geminis, you love to socialize, you love your friends, you love community. The 11th house is one of the fellow air houses. You are an air sign. So expect spiritual friends, spiritual community coming into your life even more so than you may have right now. And if that's something that you don't already have, congratulations, that is going to be coming into your life. In particular, and I forgot to say this for the Tauruses, Aries rules men and divine masculine. So in particular, and I'll just rewind for the Tauruses for a second, some of these issues may have to do with men or divine masculine, some of these karmic issues coming up. For Geminis in the 11th house, you can be attracting male friends, male community or community groups that have some sort of a divine masculine focus. Also humanitarianism, very good time for humanitarianism. 11th house of Aquarius is humanitarianism. Neptune is charity and selfless giving. So you may be noticing, Gemini, you're feeling more like you want to give selflessly to others, or you want to get involved in a charity or some humanitarianism pursuit. It's a very good time for that. We want to be mindful of our boundaries with others, because Neptune in astrology rules to have no boundaries, to be boundless. So there could be like friends that at times you feel like you're completely merging with and there's no boundaries at all. So we want to be very mindful of that, or groups or communities as well. And you can be having, because Neptune rules dreams, the 11th house of Aquarius rules our long-term dreams. You can be having dreams coming true over the course of the next 14 years, which I know is a very long time, and that might sound very general for me to say, but there can be dreams that are coming true, and it can happen fast because it's in the sign of Aries. So put action towards socializing, networking, community, humanitarianism. That's very in alignment. Tauruses, put action towards your spiritual development, creativity, very in alignment. Aries, put action towards just being an Aries, being your badass self. It's just going to happen naturally for the Aries. So yeah. Also, Gemini, you can notice dissolving of some friendships, groups, long-term dreams. Be mindful of addiction, because Neptune can be addiction. Neptune can be how we tap out from the physical realm. Okay, we've all got our vices. Geminis, you can be more prone to addiction to socialization, addiction to being around people, and addiction to social media and technology. So being mindful for that. Okay, love you guys. Next, we've got our Cancers. Interesting. Linda says, yep, already dissolving some friendships. Yeah, and I'm a Taurus rising, and I just went through the past, how many years is it since 2013? I don't even know. Since 2013. So many friendships dissolving with Neptune in my 11th house. Wow. To where I only have a few like really close friends now. And that actually feels really good. So I love being around people, but it feels really good that my circle has gotten like smaller, and I've dissolved friendships that were kind of like, just not in alignment, or a little bit of an energy leak or whatever. So Geminis will be noticing the same. Okay, Cancies, interesting. You've got transit Neptune, look, conjunct your midheaven right at the top of your chart now, and for next year, very strong as well, and transiting over your 10th house for the next 14 years. So interesting, Cancers. You know, it's not just transit Neptune over your 10th house for the next 14 years. It's transit Neptune on your midheaven, on the top of your chart this year and next year. Whenever we have something conjunct the midheaven in a birth chart or in a transit chart, it is a huge influence over the person, place, or thing, whatever we're running the chart for. So Cancers, life can feel very dreamy right now and for the next year. And you guys might have already been feeling this with Neptune 29, 28 degrees the past year, still conjunct your midheaven, but now it's exact. And I'm curious to hear our Cancers out there, like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling this dreaminess? Are you feeling this magical energy? Have you been having your psychic abilities coming online even more? Has it been feeling really Neptunian for you? Jackie says, yes, very dreamy. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so being mindful, Cancers, that everything I'm talking about having to do with Neptune, that's going to be very heightened for you the next 2 years. So it's beautiful, it's spiritual, it's creative, it's compassionate, but it can also be confusing. It can also be highly sensitive. It can also be not totally seeing things clearly. And this for you in particular, because it's the start of your 10th house, has to do with work, career, parents, older people in your life, authority figures, long-term goals. So during this whole transit, many Cancers will actually be entering a dream career or stepping into a Neptunian, Piscean ruled career. Remember, Neptune is the healing arts, spirituality, music, film, photography, filmmaking, anything that has to do with the arts, any kind of creative art, spiritual art, healing art, right? So Cancers, you're already a water sign, okay? So you're already very naturally attuned to those things, but there can be dissolving of a career or work or long-term goals that you've had and new Neptunian careers, work coming in, and there can be a magical energy at your work. Also spiritual awakening of parents or older people in your life. Be mindful of your work, bosses, older people, seeing them clearly, okay? And be mindful of possible addiction to work, okay? I am a moon in Capricorn. The 10th house is the Capricorn Aries of life. So, I definitely know that Capricorn energy well. We can be like workaholics, addicted to work. So Cancers, be mindful, and you are a Cancer, so maybe this will be a little bit easier for you, because Cancer does rule self-care. It's not healthy to be working like every second of every day. Self-care is very, very important, but you're definitely feeling inspired. Neptune is inspiration to be working. And yeah, already said dissolving of goals, work, and new ways of career moving forward. So hope that resonates with you, Cancers, and have a magical Neptune in Aries transit. Okay, next we go to our lovely Leos. Leos, you're going to be having transit Neptune. Linda, you are freaking me out. Okay, sorry, Leos. You're in Georgia. I'm in Florida. Is this the same storm? You're tripping me out right now, because every time there's thunder, you're saying that there's thunder for you too. So anyways, Linda, you're funny. You make me laugh. Okay. So Leos, we have transit Neptune in the 9th house for you for the next 14 years. And this is quite special. Okay, Leos, this is very, very, I know I keep saying the word spiritual, but Neptune is the planet of spirituality. 9th house is the Sagittarian rules areas of life, which is also very spiritual, can have to do with religions, belief systems, our higher perspectives, mysticism, psychic abilities as well. So Leos, you are interesting. I'm hearing Spirit use the term for you that you are going through a mystical tune up. Okay, that's very interesting. Leos are going through a mystical tune up. And this transit Neptune in your ninth house, there will be many magical opportunities for you to travel. Yeah, Linda, totally travel to different countries. Now, Sagittarius is foreign places. Neptune is far away, distant places. So the two things in astrology that rule far away, distant places, Sagittarius, the ninth house, Jupiter, and also Neptune and Pisces. So Leos, many of you will be traveling a lot to faraway, distant places over the course of the next 14 years, maybe even living in different places, meeting men. Aries is men from different places. If you are a female, well, of course, some people are, oh my God, I'm having a freaking brain fart. Oh my God, what's the word for when you like the opposite sex? Sorry, you guys, this Mercury retrograde. Like, okay, I know we all have different sexual preferences, but if you are into men, you can be meeting men in foreign places or meeting men ruled by Aries that are from different places. That can be a big theme. Heterosexual, okay, thank you. Whether you're heterosexual, bisexual, gay, lesbian, whatever, you can be meeting masculines that are from different places, or when you're in a different place, right? Faraway people coming into your life having an influence, faraway places and cultures having a very big influence. Amazing time, Leos, for you to be doing sacred sites travel, spiritual retreats, spiritual development, higher learning, taking spiritual courses, becoming a spiritual teacher or guide yourself. Publishing, ninth house is to publish, to put out. Neptune can also be creative works of art, can be very good. You want to be mindful, though, of deceptive gurus, teachers, very important. Not everybody is as they seem, okay? There's a lot of bullshitters out there. I'm just going to let my Scorpio come out for a minute, okay? Just because someone is out there saying things spiritually or in a metaphysical sense does not mean they are right, does not mean they are telling you the truth. Okay? All those bullshitters, they're about to be exposed with Neptune being into Aries. Finally, we get out of this Neptune in Pisces transits. It's been driving me freaking nuts. Don't know about you guys. So Leos, that will be very apparent for you. There may have been a teacher or a guide or someone that you've been looking up to that actually you realize not what you thought it was. Okay, or that can just be a very big theme around you, like you really noticing the bullshitters or the people that are putting off a complete freaking illusion. And it drives me nuts because people are so, hungry for the spiritual and the guidance and the higher truth. So people are very sensitive and vulnerable to bullshitters sometimes, unfortunately, right? But Leos, you're smart. You're ruled by the sun. Okay. You usually have your head straight on your shoulders. So just being mindful that might be a theme around you. Be mindful of travel as well. Yes, transit Neptune in the ninth house is good for faraway travel, but I would triple check everything before you travel. Okay. And you also want to be mindful of addiction to traveling, like always wanting to be traveling, addiction to spirituality, addiction to learning and information. Remember, Neptune can also be addictions. Okay. Wolf Mother says, my passport is ready to go. Yeah. Leos, it's time to get your passport if you don't already have your passport. Okay. So love you guys and have a magical Neptune in Aries transit. Now it's going to get intense. Now we're entering the Scorpio zone because our Virgos have transit Neptune in the 8th house of Scorpio. Woo! Okay. Virgos. Whether you like it or not, This is, Laura says, oh, my poor Virgo son. Virgos, whether you like it or not, this is going to be one of the most powerful points in your life of healing, of truths being revealed, of, it's interesting because, sorry, I'm going in a different direction here for a second. Pluto and Neptune have a lot of they're very different, but they have a lot of similarities. And the 8th house of Scorpio, of course, ruled by Pluto. There's similarities there. Neptune and Pluto both have to do with secrets. Neptune and Scorpio and Pluto both have to do with addictions and obsessions and what we do behind the scenes. Secrets. So Virgos, this is a very good time for you to be doing real deal healing modalities where, interesting, I'm hearing Spirit say, you let yourself lose control. Okay? Because one of the challenges for you Virgos is to let yourself let go of control and control tendencies. I'm not saying, be very mindful of plant medicine. Okay, yes, Neptune is plant medicine. Yes, 8th house can be shamanism. Yes, that can be plant medicine. Okay, I don't necessarily mean that. I mean, let yourself go into healing art situations where you don't have to be freaking in control of every moment. Okay, when you go to a yoga class, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know that it's usually an hour long. You know that you're going to do certain positions. It's very Virgo. You know exactly what's going to freaking happen. Allow yourself to go into real deal, deep healing arts where you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Because that's where the breakthroughs are actually going to happen for you. And this is deep, hidden secrets and traumas coming to the surface and you going through healing breakthroughs, which it likely doesn't just come from a yoga class, right? That comes from doing maybe something you're a little bit uncomfortable with. Yeah. DigiBean says, release the need for control. Make the known unknown. Yeah. High time of spiritual development and psychic ability. Amazing time for deep soul healing. Hidden secrets coming to the surface. Aries rules men. Aries rules abuse. Aries rules war. So if there's any traumas having to do with those Aries ruled things that I just mentioned that you've never dealt with, they're going to be coming to the surface right now. So probably good that you deal with those things at this time. On the positive side, this is an amazing time for sex, for tantra, for spiritual sex. Okay, the 8th house is sex and intimacy and soulmates on a deep scorpionic level. So Virgos, it will be a time, and it won't be like super intense every day for the next 14 years, but there will be times of deep healing breakthroughs coming to the surface, secrets being revealed, right? But also beautiful time for intimacy, for soulmates, for love, for sex, for sexual healing. Tantra can be something very good for you right now. Also, 8th house rules hidden money and investments. There can be profits coming from investments. It's good for you to invest in Neptunian things. I'm not a financial advisor, but Neptunian ruled things. Okay. Be mindful of your finances. Be mindful of sex addiction, obsessions in general, because Neptune and Pluto both rule addictions. And yeah, where you're investing, what you're doing with your money, and then it's actually rooted in a place of value and common sense. Even though, I'm going to be honest, Virgo, this can be a little freaky, Neptune in the 8th house, but it can also be really, really rewarding. And it's not anything that you can't handle. You are transforming from the inside out. And if you surrender to that, it's actually going to be a really beautiful process. The more that you poo-poo that and pretend that that's not going to happen, then the more challenging that that'll be. So hope that makes sense, and sending you lots of love for this Neptune in Aries transit. Okay, Libras, our lovely Libras are having transit Neptune in the 7th house for the next 14 years. Oh my goodness, this is the house of Libra. Oh my God, I'm going to meet my soulmate. Yeah, many of you guys will meet your soulmate. I know that's your most important thing in life for some of you Libras. So congratulations, Libras. Neptune in the 7th house. Many of you are going to meet your soulmate. You're going to have beautiful soulmate relationships coming into your life through love, through work, through clients. And you guys know, I like to crack fun. We need to be able to laugh at ourselves and make fun of ourselves, okay? And I'm the perfect one to do it because I'm a Scorpio and we're the craziest ones. And I'm honest about that. So yeah, I don't, sometimes people go, oh my God, you were so mean to the Libras today. I'm unsubscribing to you. You were so mean. Okay. Do whatever works for you. We need to be able to laugh at ourselves. So Libras, your dream comes true. Transit Neptune in your house, the 7th house of Libra. Soulmates are coming in. Yay, yay, yay. What you have all been waiting for. Magical love, meeting more Neptunian people. This is also an amazing transit for creativity and art. Libra, one of the Venus-ruled houses, the 7th house. Highly creative, great for spiritual interior design, feng shui. Libra is the aesthetics and our style. But remember, Neptune is dissolving. So many Libras may go through a divorce, the end of a marriage or a work partnership or contracts, but beautiful new spiritual relationships coming in. 7th house is other people, right? So you may notice that other people around you may be going through addictions or in healing institutions or going through a very big spiritual awakening. There's Neptunian things going on with other people around you. Be mindful of deception or confusion with lovers, workers, and clients. And yeah, Andej, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Spirituality seems to be a theme. Totally, it's the planet of spirituality. Definitely. Lady of Wild Rose. Yep. Libra moon, Scorpio rising, creative juices flowing. Makes sense. Remember, we have to close the doors for new doors. Oh, Andy. Sorry. Hi, Andy. We have to close the doors for new ones to open. Okay, Libra. So your dreams are coming true. Sending lots of love your way. Have a magical transit. My fellow Scorpios, what have we got going on? Transit Neptune in the 6th house for the Scorpios. We've got Aries in the 6th house now. And I'll just say in general, whatever sign you have in your 6th house, sign or signs, whatever those signs rule is very important for us to be doing for our overall health and well-being. There's very loud thunder at the moment. Don't know if you guys can hear that. So Scorpios, Aries is movement and physical activity, action, exercise. Very important for Scorpios in general, but especially during this Neptune in Aries transit. Amazing time for physical healing modalities, for the healing arts, any kind of healing art. This is the 6th house of health, our routines, our day-to-day work, offices, pets, co-workers. Many Scorpios. Can you guys hear that? Ooh, Scorpios are getting the thunder. Okay. Many Scorpios will be stepping into Neptunian forms of work if you're not already in it. Many of us are naturally kind of in Neptunian forms of work because Neptune is kind of similar to Pluto and Scorpio. So things that are undercover, things that are secretive, researching the spiritual arts, the healing arts, creativity. We can be stepping into our dream jobs, our dream day-to-day routines. We can be inspired, Scorpios, to be stepping into, oh, did you guys hear that? Ooh, yeah, it's getting creepy for the Scorpios. We're going to be inspired to be of service and volunteering, charity, very good time for those things. We're developing spiritual relationships to pets and animals. Healing with horses, healing with animals can be so good for, oh my God, there's lightning right above me. Oh my God, this is like most intense for the Scorpios right now. Do you guys hear that? You can't make this stuff up. Okay, so, one of the things about Scorpios is sometimes it's hard for us to be around people because when you're any of the signs, like it never stops. It just never stops, right? So when you're a Scorpio, you are constantly taking in and evaluating people's shadow sides, with which people either really like that or they really don't like that. So one of the things that I like of Neptune, transit Neptune in our 6th house, Jens is walking into the room. What's up? Do you need something? Okay. Sorry, Jens just walked into the room. 6th house is animals and animal healing. So it's actually a really good time for Scorpios to maybe do healing with horses or do goat yoga or do things that have to do with animals, because animals have a very healing energy. Animals are very non-judgmental. And for Scorpios, animals are very easy to be around because, yes, everything has a shadow side, but there's just something about Scorpios being around humans where it can actually be quite challenging for us. So doing animal therapy can be something very beautiful and comforting actually for Scorpios during this transit. Scorpios, be mindful of deception at work, with employees, coworkers, also your health. Okay, transit Neptune in the 6th house is a very good time for the healing arts. But yes, goat yoga. Have you never heard of goat yoga, Digibeam? That's a thing. That's a real thing. Wait, I'll show you guys a picture of that if you've never seen that before. Goat yoga. That's not something that I've ever done, but as a Scorpio, I'm definitely going to try that and probably going to have the time of my life. Goat yoga. It's when you're doing yoga and there's like goats in the vicinity and they can climb on top of you and they come cuddle next to you. Yeah, that's a real thing. And it's becoming more popular. Goat yoga, horse healing. I love being around horses, cats, dogs, any kind of animal. Right? Well, oh yeah, Scorpios. I was about to say, even though it can be a beautiful time for physical healing, we can also have Neptune in the 6th house. There can be a loss or a dissolving of that area. So we can be more prone to some health issues. Neptune in the 6th house. Okay. So the main thing for Scorpios, because we have Aries there, do physical movement, exercise. Also Scorpios, as a sun in Scorpio or a rising Scorpio or Scorpio moon, Scorpio rules toxicity and the removing of toxicity from your body. Loud thunder. So Scorpios, it's very important for us to be doing regular cleansing practices, a couple times a year, at least once a year, a very good cleanse as a Scorpio. Very important. So yeah, be mindful of addiction to work, be mindful of health addiction, like being addicted to working out. Scorpio already rules addictions and obsessions. So Scorpios, just be mindful of your health, doing things in a balanced way. Don't become too obsessed with it. Okay. Love you guys. Have a nice transit. All right. Next, we've got our Saggy Waggies. Sagittarians are going to be having this transit Neptune in Aries in the 5th house. Oh, I mean, Saggies just always have something good going on. Even though it's been kind of challenging for the Saggies the past year with Jupiter and Gemini. So square Saturn. So there you go, Saggies. You've had something a little bit challenging lately. But transit Neptune in the 5th house, that is super magical. That is, yeah, the thunder is still going for the Saggies. That's super lucky, magical, creative, romantic. If you're a Saggy and you're single, you're definitely going to be meeting like a dream lover for sure. Highly creative, dreamy men coming into your life. If you're someone that you're attracted to men. Oh my God, I have to close the window. It's getting loud. Okay, window is closed. Yeah, very creative, romantic, dream lover in romance. You just want to be mindful of the lovers, of the suitors coming forward and the creative projects coming forward. Saggies tend to be pretty discerning. You guys tend to see through the bullshit because you are one of the signs that rules truth. So I'm not too concerned about that for you guys, but this is very special to have transit Neptune in the 5th house. Very fun. You're more fertile than usual. Okay, Neptune can be one of the things in astrology that can rule pregnancy, to give birth. Okay, so if you're a female Saggy, you're more fertile than usual. If you're a male Saggy, you're also more fertile than usual. And yeah, good for creativity, good for having children, romance. Be mindful of risky investments. 5th house can be risky investments. So if you do invest in anything, better to maybe not do super risky investments. Do think Aries can also be risky and very impulsive. So Saggies, in terms of investments, and I'm not a financial advisor, but just saying, invest in things that it's like, you know, for sure, those things are always going to be of value, like gold, like silver, like real estate, those kind of things. Things that are overly risky, not the best time for you to be investing in. Okay, so love you, Saggies, and everything just tends to work out. And you guys are also going to have Jupiter, your ruler, entering Cancer soon in June, his exalted position. So Neptune in your 5th house and Jupiter in Cancer is just going to be like, whoop-de-doo. Saggy fun life as usual. Okay, moving on to a more serious sign. Our Cappies, Capricorns. Capricorns are going to be, oh my God, the rain is so loud. I hope that's not too loud behind me. Linda says silver is going to go higher than gold, according to Andy and Bix. You never know. I've definitely been predicting Jupiter in Cancer making very positive aspects to some of the lunations during that transit. We are definitely going to be seeing a very big rise in the value of silver, for sure. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, Cappies, you are going to be having, okay, first of all, transit Neptune on your IC, the bottom of your chart, right? So the Cancers are having Neptune at the top of the chart. The Capricorns are having Neptune at the IC, at the bottom of the chart, which is the most private, sensitive part of the chart. Also rules the past. 4th house is the past. The IC is the past. Neptune can be the past. So there can be a theme, Capricorns, of healing from the past. And I know 14 years is a really long time, but oh my God, the thunder. You're moving on and you're healing in a new direction from the past. You can be feeling nostalgia. In particular, the next 2 years with Neptune conjunct your IC, you can be feeling very nostalgic. There can be people from the past, from past lives coming forward. Transit Neptune in the 4th house is a good time for doing feng shui, spiritual and creative practices in the home or with family members. Many of you will be living in your dream home, finding your dream home. There can be a theme of dissolving of the identity, Aries, of one's homeland or family members, anything that has to do with the home. You want to be mindful of self-sacrifice through family, home issues, addictions in the home. So Capricorn, you can be more prone, Capricorns, to feeling really dreamy and possibly like ungrounded in the home. You may feel more grounded when you're outside of the home. So actually a good astrological remedy for Cappies, because it is very important for us to feel grounded at home, because that's like where we recharge. I am a Capricorn moon, so this actually goes for me, but my fellow Capricorns, a really good astrological remedy is to put some black grounding crystals or stones, like a crystal grid around the home to ground the energy. So even though you are a Capricorn, you tend to be naturally very grounded. It's Neptune on the IC, one of the angles of the chart. So you can actually be feeling quite Neptunian, sensitive, a little bit floaty in the home space. Your family members can also possibly be feeling like that too. And you can have very spiritual, magical, even paranormal experiences in your home environment with family members and with your ancestors. This is a powerful time for you to be connecting to the past and history and your ancestors as well. So love you guys and have a very nice Neptune in Aries transit. We've got a couple more signs and then we're going to be all done. Aquarius rising sun and moons have transit Neptune in your 3rd house for the next 14 years. This is a really good time for spiritual learning pursuits, doing Neptunian things in the local community. And this makes sense for a lot of Aquarians because we're entering the age of Aquarius. We're entering Pluto in Aquarius transit, where it's going to become, the woo is going to become more normalized. And Aquarians really are the way showers of that. So Neptune rules the healing arts, healing institutions, healing places. In the 3rd house is the local environment, the local community, the local state or province in your vicinity. Many Aquarians are going to be becoming involved in these alternative healing practices, places. And it's funny how that's showing up in your chart in many different ways. Being humanitarians in your local environment. Very good time for creative writing. You guys can be writing a lot. Digivine says, "Oh, woo shower." I love that. I haven't heard that one before. You guys are the woo showers, our Aquarians out there. Love you guys. Creative writing, creative speaking, spiritual writing, automatic writing. You may notice there can be times during this transit where you're having to take care of a friend or a sibling or a neighbor that might be going through like a health issue or an addiction. That can be coming up, right? Be mindful of short distance travel, possible loss of day-to-day items. Okay, Neptune can be lost, things going missing or disappearing. 3rd house is day-to-day items, day-to-day activities. So just making sure everything is in check. Some things may disappear and come back. So one of the lighter houses to have Neptune for sure. Love you, Aquarians, and sending lots and lots of love your way. Lastly, we've got our magical Pisces. Pisces, you guys must be so relieved, okay, if you're aware of Neptune having been in Pisces since 2013. Finally, Neptune is out of your sign. You guys have just been getting blasted with intense astrological transits. So we've had Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, the North Node in Pisces, eclipses in Pisces, a stellium of planets in Pisces. we're leaving the age of Pisces, and Pisces can be feeling like they're losing their fucking minds. Okay. Many Pisces, I love you guys to death, but many of you guys I'm noticing are like tapped out. You can feel like you're losing it. You can feel like you're living in a parallel dimension. Things have been super weird for the Pisces. So very good news that even though Neptune is your ruling planet, okay, after how many years is that? 14, 15 years, enough is enough. Okay. Neptune in Aries, you are going to be more grounded, embodied, clear, not as scattered. So I'm so happy for this transit for you guys. Andy says, my buddy is getting totally steamed. Yeah, it's, the Pisces are the ones we need to be watching out for right now. Still, because we're not totally over. Neptune's going to retrograde one last time into Pisces at the end of the year. Pisces is the one sign, if there's any sign that we need to be there for right now and checking in on, it's the Pisces sun, moon, and risings over anybody else. Because they've had Neptune in their sign, everything I just said. Everyone else, okay, Aries can handle Neptune and Aries. They can handle the Saturn-Neptune conjunction Aries. They can handle the Aries. Aquarians can handle Pluto and Aquarius. Okay. Pisces, it's been an overload of intensity. So Pisces, it's almost over. We're fully going to be in Neptune and Aries. What's the date? January 26th, 2026. But now is your first taste of Neptune and Aries. You're probably going to feel more grounded, more clear, more energized. And Neptune is your ruler. So whatever is going on with your planetary ruler has a very big influence. So you can be feeling quite Aries, actually, with Neptune and Aries. You can be feeling more confident, more active, more sexual, more empowered, more in your leadership. Jumper says, Pisces here. And yes, I'm thrilled that Neptune is in Aries. It's been a total trip. Yeah, I can't imagine. So transit Neptune out of your sign into Aries in your second house. So this is magical abundance, ooh, and comfort and pleasure coming into your life. It's the Taurus house of abundance and comforts and security and pleasure. Many Pisces will be making income in new Neptunian ways. Cool. So through the healing arts, spirituality, creativity, all those Piscean ways. Neptune is your ruler. Your values can be going through an up-leveling at this time. The second house is our values. Good time for you to be reflecting on and coming clear of what are your values, because what we value is what we attract. Spiritual values coming to the forefront, more magical pleasure, enjoyment, comfort. Be mindful of, physical possessions, maybe going missing, going into another dimension and coming back, where you put your money. Be mindful of addiction to making money, food and pleasure, sensuality. Okay. But Pisces, I'm excited for Neptune going into your second house because this is going to be more fun, lighter, grounded. Love it, love it, love it. So love you guys so much. Yeah, addictions and foods. The second house is food. Taurus is food. Anything we ingest. So yeah, Neptune, remember, it's addictions. So, okay, we've gone through all the collective, the 12 signs for Neptune and Aries. This is going to be part one. I'm definitely going to have to do a part two because even though this is almost a 2-hour video, there's still so much more for me to say. I didn't even talk about the historical component. I've got my moon in Capricorn, so I like to go into the historical component. I'm going to have to do a part two in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this part one, Neptune in Aries. Yay, video. I'm so excited that this transit has started. And before I finish up, again, just want to share with you guys, go check out Sunny and I, my creative partner and my best Scorpio friend, our new Cosmic Alignment Astro e-calendar. available on the scorplingshop.com. Link is in description below. This is a 77-page calendar with all my astrological forecasting for the natural year ahead. Sunny's beautiful graphic art. She designed the whole calendar. I wrote the description. She helped me edit it. So beautiful natural calendar. You can go check that out at the Scorpling Shop. We put a lot of love into it for $28 USD. Also on the Scorpling Shop, we have our astrological crystal prescriptions for each of the signs. This is 2 new annual things we're doing: our annual calendar, our annual crystal prescriptions based on everybody's transits. So you get a description of why we have prescribed the crystal or mineral to you based on your sign's transits. And also, Jens and I are going to be hosting this Soulful Summer Solstice Retreat weekend. Spaces are filling up, so if you would like to join, sign up sooner rather than later. Go to megmoonbeam.com. We're going to be celebrating the solstice together in like-minded community sacred space at the Northern Edge Retreat Center in Algonquin Park, Ontario, Canada. So excited. We're going to be doing daily outdoor earthing activities, stargazing, moose excursion. Maybe we'll do some Sasquatching. You guys know I love the Sasquatch. Dancing, sound healing. So going to be so much fun. You can check that out at megmoonbeam.com. And also, last little promo thing here is I've got my beginner's guide to astrocartography workshop coming up on the Beyond Mystic Academy. Link is below as well. Astrocartography is the astrology of the world's map based off of each of our birth charts. It is fascinating. The astrology of best places to live, work, travel. Yes, Laura, Bigfoot. So go check out my new workshop. Link is below. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you all so, so much. Wishing us all the most empowered, embodied, magical Neptune in Aries transit possible. I am so grateful, universe. Thank you, universe, that Neptune is now in Aries, that we have started this transit. Yes. So thank you all. Love you all. See you very soon. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and have a magical rest of your day. Mwah. Bye.